Well, got Billy Idol on my fantasy playlist at number 9, week of November 29th, 1986, To Be a Lover. This song was a little bit different for Billy Idol. To be honest, I was a little disappointed in it because it was so laid back compared to some of his more intense records like Eyes Without a Face, White Wedding back in 1983, and Rebel Yell back in 1983, 1984. Boy, that was an intense rock and roll record right there with those blistering, insane guitar solos by, I can't remember, Steve Stevens or something like that, his sideman. But To Be a Lover it was more soulful, and there's a reason for it. It was a soul hit back in 1969 by William Bell. The song was co-written by Booker T. Jones, a legend. William Bell, I guess one of his biggest hits was Trying to Love Too, which came out in 1977, but he had some soul hits in the late 60s, and the song was called I Forgot to Be Your Lover. Big R&B hit. Only went to number 45 though on Billboard's Hot 100, late 68, early 1969. But Billy Idol incorporating that soulfulness, picking up that 60s soul and putting it into his musical DNA, inserting it into his musical DNA. Uh, from the album called Whiplash Smile, and the song went to number 6 here in America. Didn't do quite as well in England. Went to number 22 in England for Billy Idol, To Be a Lover. Generation X, man. I got to talk about Generation X. I read a fantastic autobiography by Billy Idol about a year or so ago, and it was a good book, a pretty powerful book too. Talks about his relationship with his dad and all that. And his dad actually kind of didn't talk to him for about a year when he was real young because he grew his hair out real long. Of course, there was a lot of resistance to guys wearing long hair back in the 60s, even into the early 70s, particularly among a lot of the middle class parents. But his real name was William Broad. William Broad. And the idol came from, he got a report card when he was in school. And the report card was not very flattering. It said that William is an idle student, a lazy student. So that's where the idol came from. A little bit of wordplay, changed it from idol to ADOL, Billy Idol. But that insane motorcycle accident. Gosh, dog, he was out riding on this motorcycle, a real flashy motorcycle, when he got smacked by a car. It took him a long time to recuperate from it. Rock the Cradle of Love, which came out back in the spring of 1990, was recorded from the waist up because of his motorcycle accident. He was, from what I read about that motorcycle accident, he was dang lucky to have done that video that year in the first place, considering his injuries. But I guess that's all I got to say. Oh, wait a minute. Generation X. Yes. Punk rock. Generation X. Billy Idol started out in a band called Generation X in the late 70s. They had some success in England. They're one of the first punk bands, one of the early punk bands who performed on Top of the Pops. Britain's, it was Britain's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the word. It was the British equivalent of American Bandstand. They performed Top of the Pops. Their biggest hit was King Rocker back in 1979. Went to number 11 in England. And you might be able to find that video on YouTube of them doing King Rocker on Top of the Pops. Very young Billy Idol back in 1979. And done. Billy Idol, number 9, To Be a Lover.